Good morning, CSA friends. First, I want to say sorry yet again for getting the video out on Sunday instead of Saturday like I had said I would. I am very ambitious with my time and sometimes forget that I don't have endless time. Yesterday we celebrated Thanksgiving with my family. Well, not true. It was supposed to be with David's family, but it ended up being my parents and us. But I had the whole Thanksgiving meal cooked. So I ran out of time for a video, and by the end of the day I was like super wiped. So my apologies. Welcome to week 5. Thank you for being part of the CSA. I hope it's been enjoyable for you. I'm going to quickly run through what I have for what's coming out and a few meal ideas with that. It's going to be pretty simple, pretty basic. But I hope you enjoy it. And I just want to express sincere thanks. This is our 3rd year doing the CSA and honestly has been my favorite year yet. Perhaps some of it's that I'm finally like letting go of complete and absolute control. And so not having that on my head makes it more enjoyable. But it's been a great year. And while everything didn't come out perfectly, and I'm already thinking and making notes for like what needs to be done differently, and I will be asking you for like, what would you like to see different, just to hear that kind of feedback. I'm thrilled and also like glad. I'm always glad when the season comes to an end and then new things start. So my timer is going to go off in roughly 1 minute. So I'm going to pause this, get back on. I have breakfast in the oven. Anywho, we're going to have some Salanova cut lettuce. So I'm not allowed, per my insurance, to tell you that this is ready to eat. And you might notice a bug or two on it, so you might not want to eat it ready to eat. But this is like a bag of leaf lettuce that's pre-cut, like pre-cut lettuce. So hopefully very easy to grab and go. No core to take out. You'll have a little tote container of Brussels sprouts, a head of cabbage, a small head of radicchio, that's the purpley colored head that's in there, a bag of kale, and then a mixture of beets and carrots. And I apologize for the packaging this time a little bit, and also maybe not apologize. I ran out of bags, and you would have thought I would have ordered those last week when I noticed it, and I failed to purchase when it was added to my cart. So the last thing also is honey. Hopefully you enjoy the honey. It's from our batch that we pulled from the hives this year. So this is probably really obnoxious. I had to reset it for 3 minutes, so it's going to go off again. This is how we're going to do this today. We have a Sunday school class with our kids, one of my daughters, her age group, and we've been bringing breakfast in. And on the Sundays that I don't bring breakfast in, we've got kids who are like, "Oh, is there breakfast today? Oh, that's okay." You know, so they're like very gracious about it. But now I'm in the habit of trying to make some kind of breakfast item because, you know, food always brings people to the table. So with your cabbage and with your carrots, coleslaw would be a really easy something to do with that. The size of your cabbage is going to depend greatly based on what share you got. Some of them are big mamma jammas. Some of them are a little more normal size, like what you would see in the grocery store. So I hope that you enjoy no matter what. For your cabbage, if you have a big mamma jamma and it is too big to use in all the coleslaw, then something really easy we do with cabbage is like cut it into wedges and brush it with olive oil, garlic, salt, pepper, roast it in the oven. And it makes like a simple little side that you can eat. I've heard people grilling them almost like steaks where you cut them in maybe whole slices. You know, we're not talking super thick, but maybe 1/2 inch to 1 inch. And again, season it, and then you can also pan cook it. It snowed, so I don't know that you want to go outside and get your grill out, but there's that. Roasted root vegetables. So with your carrots and with your beets, take some of the honey and mix it in with some kind of an oil, some kind of a fat. Season that and then roast that in the oven. That would be another great little dish on there. I don't think Brussels sprouts need a whole lot of saying. I'm going to be totally honest. Brussels sprouts are like my absolute most favorite vegetable. We cut a bunch of these up yesterday, and because of our change in attendance and who was coming, I forgot to cook them yesterday. So we will be having a mountain of Brussels sprouts perhaps for dinner tonight. I pan cook mine on the stove. If you do something like balsamic, you could add like a Parmesan cheese on it. I also like to cook mine with something like, because we get pigs processed and we have the whole pig, we have like the fatty bits, and that makes a really good start because it adds the bacony flavor and the fat needed to cook the Brussels sprouts. So I hope you enjoy those. I'm so glad that they made it in. Radicchio. Radicchio is kind of a weirder little guy that you may not have ever cooked with before. It's one that I did not cook with before growing it, and it is the purple head. Hold on, sorry. Okay, so radicchio. It's going to be like this sized, a little bigger than my fist size of a head, and I've taken pretty much all the outer leaves off of it that you don't want. This is something that's in, I think, like the chicory family. So it's lettuce-like, but it has a different flavor. It's more like a bitter flavor. And that doesn't sound super appetizing, but for some folks, that's not like a bad thing for there to be a bitter taste to it. So there's a couple of ways to do this. You can't eat radicchio raw. So if you wanted to put it in your salad and try it that way, it just adds a different little bite, a different little crunch. So like similar to like how arugula has that really strong peppery flavor, this has something it's described as bitter. I don't know that that's what I would call it, but it's sharp. It's a sharper flavor. So you could eat it in a salad and make a really tasty salad. You could take that and you could add some of that to your coleslaw as well if you're going to do that. Your cabbage, whether it's half or whole, some of your carrots, and then even maybe like a third to a half of the radicchio, cut it, and then really finely chop it down and mix that in. That's going to add a little bit different flavor, and especially when you put like the sugary bits into the sweeter part into your coleslaw, if that's how you make the sauce on it, it's really going to cut some of that flavor out of it. The other thing, I've seen a lot of stuff is about like roasting it. And I've given you several roasting ideas, but radicchio actually goes well in pasta dishes. I would almost call this like more of a European and Italian kind of vegetable. It's very much more common there. But something I did fairly recently was a sausage pasta with fennel. You could easily do like a sausage pasta with radicchio, and it would give you another way to use it to mix it in and have something mixed in with the pasta. You could throw some of the kale, like kale and radicchio, white pasta sauce. If you're not into white pasta sauce, you could do like an olive oil with Parmesan and salt and pepper and garlic. Hey, Sister Cat. I think that's the bulk of the meal ideas that I wanted to send out. And I'm going to try and keep this video not super long. But I will be sending a little link your way, and I hope that you'll fill it out for me. It's going to be a really basic, like Google Forms kind of questionnaire. And the reason for a Google form is that is feedback that I can then keep and refer back to as the years go on. I love receiving like the messages and the words, and I will try and track that if that's how you choose to send any feedback anyway. But I'm already looking at 2025. What does that mean for our CSA? What does that look like? What did we not do well this year that we need to do better next year? I have a few things in my mind. I'm already going like, dang, those cauliflowers that I wanted to be in your guys' shares are this big, so they're not big enough for me to harvest. They're supposed to be like this big. So I need to plant those like at least 2 weeks earlier. I'm looking at how I planted the old tunnel versus the new tunnel and the way the light falls. And do I consistently need to do that a different way like I did last year than I did this year because we saw different results? I'm also thinking about the fact that my winter squash was a flop this year and our potatoes didn't work out well. And to me, those would have been a really great supplements to the vegetables in this share. So I'm kind of like, we got to nail that, or maybe not nail it, but we got to do that. Certainly better than what we did this year. So all that being said, I'm going to send a link your way. And if you would provide me your feedback, I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to keep it short so that you don't have to write a by-paragraph essay to me. Thank you again for supporting our farm and for being part of the CSA. I hope it's been enjoyable. If you have any questions, let me know. Merry Christmas. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving season. We'll see you on the next round.